Okay, here is another original effect that has never been seen before. So for this, I have 4 clubs and 4 diamonds, as you can see. And I have an ace, 2, 6, and 10 of each. So what we need to do here is have you as the spectator tell me how you want these stacked. Left on right or right on left? Left on right, okay. Now what I need to do as the performer, and you will as well, deal out the cards into a triangle configuration, then stack them in the opposite orientation. And then from here we're going to mix the cards thoroughly. Now technically the cards are now a Bessie sequence of order 8. And for those who have not studied these, I will have a playlist that will teach you about Bessie sequences, and equally important, it will give you dozens and dozens of amazing card effects using these amazing packet structures. As you can see here, I have diamonds here, so we'll kind of break it in half. We have the diamonds on the outer, clubs in the middle, and they switch. Clubs on the outer of these 4 cards and diamonds in the middle. This is called a Bessie sequence of order 8. Now, there are hundreds of ways of mixing this packet freely with spectator input without harming it. Okay, so I encourage you to take a look at the playlist I just mentioned. Now, what I thought I would do here is just use some shuffles that are related. And some of these you may not have seen me ever do, actually. Okay, so the first off, we can go ahead and just do a left-right shuffle. In fact, for most spectators, just dealing the cards left, right with random stacking decided by them is sufficient to convince them that, well, no one could be controlling the organization of the cards because they're deciding how to stack these, okay? So you can do as many of those as you like. Of course, you can deal out into 4 piles like this, stacking top row on the bottom or vice versa, with random stacking here decided by the spectator. Okay, now the one I wanted to show you today involves the Klondike shuffle. So here's just a basic Klondike. You're taking the top and bottom cards off as 1. Something called an alternate Klondike. It's kind of a fun one. You Klondike pairs left, right, random stacking. And then one that I haven't done very many times, I don't think, is an alternate Klondike of sorts into 4 pairs like that. Spectator can stack bottom on top or top on bottom, their choice. Maybe the bottom row on top. How would you like these stacked? Left on right. You can do as many of any one of those or all of those as you like. Now, once the spectator is content that the cards are beyond the knowledge of anyone, have them take a look at the identity of the top card. Now, it will be one of these cards at random. So here, it's the 6 of diamonds. So we're going to go ahead and just spell 6 of diamonds. SIXOFDIAMONDS. 6 of diamonds. And now from here, what I'll do is I'm going to deal the cards left, right, push off a pair on the right, set down the remaining pair on the left. Okay, so what do you think the chances are, given all of the mixing that you controlled and the decisions that you freely made, that we've done anything interesting with these 8 cards? Well, the only thing that I can think of that would be kind of interesting to do with these 8 cards would be to separate them by suit. Because if you remember, we had 4 clubs and 4 diamonds. What do you think the chances are that we've done that? Let's take a look. Diamond, club, that's good. Wow, we even have them in sync here. Diamond, club, diamond, club, diamond, club. Check that out. I sure hope you have an explanation for that. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Now, the particular outcome here that you have just witnessed is indeed amazing. It's more amazing than most anyone could realize. And it's for the simple reason, the only thing that I could guarantee for sure is that I would separate the diamonds and the clubs in some order. The fact that they came out to be matched up at each level, that is just icing on the cake. Okay, so how is this done? Well, you begin with, these diamonds and clubs, random stack, and then you just do exactly what I did. I have a write-up here I'll show you to kind of explain what's going on. This step is important. Then you stack in opposite order. It converts it to a Bessie sequence of order 8. Why is that helpful? Okay, and it looks like I maybe have it in the inverted version of what I've written down here, which is fine. But a Bessie sequence relative to colors here would be either red, black, black, red, black, red, red, black, or the opposite with the colors. Okay, so in the write-up here, I just happen to label clubs as 1s and diamonds as 0s. Okay, but you can switch those labels and it will still be a Bessie sequence of order 8. Okay, so this has the right organization. You can now put it through hundreds upon hundreds of unique mixing procedures and processes and not harm this in any way. And that's what I talk about in the playlist that I've linked in the description below regarding Bessie sequences in general. Okay, and then what we did from there is we mixed it thoroughly. Okay, you can do all of the mixing that I showed you, and this will still be of this arrangement, of this structure here. And then we just took a look at the top card, 10 of clubs, spelt that. TENOFCLUBS. Okay, so let me just tell you what's guaranteed to happen here. I have a second write-up. That will be the last one that we'll need. So this is what's guaranteed to happen. Either we'll get something like black, red, 2 red, 2 black. I think that's how I assigned the clubs and the diamonds. Or the analogous thing with the card color switched. Okay, so right here, if you look at, we assigned 1 to be clubs. So this is actually matched up with what I showed you earlier in this little diagram here. Clubs, diamonds, diamonds, clubs, and so forth. Okay, so we would get a club, a diamond, a club, a diamond. Okay, so if you deal the first card on the left, the next card on the right, third card on the left, fourth card on the right, you'll have these 2 piles of 2 cards each. Now the next pair will match the color of the cards on the right. That's why I pushed them off. Okay, so why don't we reverse the cards and work with them face up so you can see it in action. Okay, so I just went left, right, left, right. Now the next 2 are going to match the ones over here on the right, which is what I've said. And then the final 2 will be on the left. And you will be guaranteed to separate the clubs from the diamonds or the reds from the blacks. Now you won't necessarily know which pile, with the cards face down, which pile contains the clubs, which one contains the diamonds. You can deduce that if you happen to peek at the bottom card of the packet before dealing out the cards. But that's not really important here. The key is you've separated them by suit again, which is highly unlikely. And then, of course, in my performance, we got this amazing bonus that at each level, as you go down the piles, they actually matched in value. Okay, and so that's what my write-up is describing, that dealing out. You go left, right, push off the next top 2 cards, set them on the right, set down the remaining 2 cards on the left, and regardless of what it looked like before that, we will have separated the clubs from the diamonds. Okay, well, that's kind of the secret. It's using Bessie sequences and kind of a card spelling system that I've discovered work with Bessie sequences. So I hope you enjoyed that and encourage you to take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.